So we have his speech here, and I think the most important thing about Obama's speech back in 2004 was his idea of trying to unite the two Americas. We call the red Americas and the blue Americas. It's a little bit like in Taiwan. We have the pan green and the pan blue. In the U.S., you have the pan, not the pan, but they call the blue states and the red states. Okay, so if you able to see, there is a map here, but this is a map. Later, I will ask you to put the red flag or the blue flag, so you will know which states are considered the blue states or the red states. But if we look at the United States, why you have different states evolve and into voting for certain idea, certain party, political party, overwhelmingly. For example, in the South, okay, in America South, in the past, since probably 1960s, most of the states tend to move towards the Republican Party, whereas in the Northeast and the West Coast, they are more likely to vote for the Democratic Party. Of course, sometimes it changes. You have a popular president like Ronald Reagan, he will win California, but usually California will vote for Democratic Party. A popular Southern governor like Clinton will vote certain Southern states, but most of the time, the Southern states will vote for Republican Party. So it's a little bit like in Taiwan right now. Pan green will win the South, pan blue will win, some of the states, especially here, Hsinchu, Taoyuan, right? These are so pan blue. Like if you are pan green trying to win a seat here, I think very difficult. More difficult is where my university is situated, Taipei, Wenshan, 2-1, pan blue. Okay, it's like 70% voted for pan blue, 30% for pan green. I mean, last legislative election, we have one pan green legislative candidate. He doesn't even have an assistant working with him. He just, just very quietly, go around the business. Didn't spend money because he knows he's not going to win. Okay, but in United States, we have a two-party system. Some states are very much the blue states, some are the red states. So we will look at the Obama's speech here. So the first one, if you look at the paragraph, I want to ask some of you to see whether you have any idea. Did you study at all? First paragraph, we have so many thank you here. So we want to deal with the first one, Dick Durbin, Wu Yudong. Yeah, do you know who is Dick Durbin? Okay, but he is also the other senator from where? Okay. At this time, what happened? At this time, 2004. Summer of 2004, what was Obama doing? Well, yes, he's trying to help, Kerry, but what was his position himself? I mean, he's jobless. He's just a professional campaign. I mean, if he doesn't have anything, do you think someone will invite him to give a keynote speech? So he was a state senator before. He was state senator at that time, but he was also running. Remember, I gave you Obama. He was running for what? For U.S. senator. Okay, so each state, 2 senators, right? America has 100 senators, 50 states, 100 senators. So each state, 2 senators. One already Dick Durbin, but he's not up for election. Okay, American state senator, they have this 1/3 every 2 years. Okay, so 100, which means 1 year will be 33, 1 year 33, 1 year 34. Okay, running for re-election, 6 years term. So, for example, right now we have what? We have 2010 next year. They're going to, and then, so those who elected in 2010, 6 years later, they will do it in 2016. So that's the simple math. Durbin, as a senator from Illinois, a Democratic senator, he is not running for election, but he will be a good someone, you know, like we in Taiwan, what do we call? We call 站台, right? In America, will be, you know, campaign for you. He will be a good campaign. Someone can campaign for Obama to win the other Senate seat. So 2 Senate seats. From which state? Obama was a senator from which state? Here, we have so many. Which one? You have no idea? Did we? I think we mentioned a little bit about this, right? The audacity of hope. Did we mention about Obama? Where? Which state? Illinois. Okay, now Illinois is famous for what? Lincoln and Chicago, right? So he's a state senator from the Chicago area of Illinois. And now, that's the other senator is Durbin. Okay, so we have Durbin now. Okay, next one, 窦祖康. Wang Tingru. Okay, the second paragraph, land of Lincoln, great state of of Illinois, crossroads. Why crossroads of a nation? What does that mean? Where is Illinois? Do you know? Like here? About where? Okay, it's here, right, in the middle. A little bit toward we call the Midwest. But the reason they call Midwest is, we should have an American map. I forgot to bring it. But the reason we call it Midwest is all the states from here up to here, or even here. This is the Midwest. This is West Mountain. So Illinois is in the middle. You have those 5 lakes. You know, the 5 lakes. How many of you know the 5 lakes? 5 lakes is also called homes, right? The Great Lakes of the U.S. Lake Erie, Lake, what is M? By Chicago. There's a big lake. And you know, we think of lake, you think of Sun Moon Lake in Taiwan. This lake, when I was there, looked like an ocean. Michigan. And this one, Superior. And this one, Ontario. And this one, Huron. Okay, so next time you will remember homes. Okay, are the 5 states, 5 lakes, I'm sorry. So here, Chicago was good because early in American history, they have the lake connected all the way to New York and going all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. So yes, Chicago was in the Midwest, but it has canal. Remember the Grand Canal of China. So the canal connecting to the East Coast. And then Chicago also, is in the center of, all this Midwest. So that's the crossroad of a nation. Chicago, again, people use a word to talk about Chicago or Illinois especially. Illinois is a microcosm. So what is microcosm? 陈品任、吴凯、许安利。Yeah, do you know what is microcosm? Yeah, so what does that mean? A microcosm of the U.S. Okay, in Taiwan, what would be a microcosm of Taiwan? Means every person is represented. I don't think it's Hsinchu County. Or Hsinchu City is not a microcosm of Taiwan. Where will be a microcosm of Taiwan? I think it's Taipei County. Okay, Taipei County, you have Pen Blue, you have Pen Green, you have very urban, you also have very countryside, back. So that's a microcosm of every. So Illinois is a microcosm of the U.S. Means you have big city like Chicago, but in the South, okay, in the South, very close to Missouri. The big city of Missouri is called St. Louis. Right across, we would talk about, in eastern St. Louis, you have, if you read the book, you have in the South, people still go to a country club, excluding colored people, only reserved for white. This is Obama in 21st century. You go to a club, you find out, how come there is no colored people here? Well, they purposely not invite anyone. So very conservative in the southern part of Illinois. So microcosm, okay, industry, agriculture, everything. 何子怡. Okay, in the next paragraph, he said, let's face it, my presence on the stage, very unlikely. His father was a foreign student from Kenya. Okay, where is Kenya? Africa. Which part? East, south, west, north, central? Where? East. Okay, it's in the eastern part of Africa. In Taiwan, we only know Kenya because they have great runners. That's it. Marathon people. But Kenya used to be a British colony. So his father was able to get a scholarship to go to the U.S. But his father, he said, he grew up herding goats, okay, like a shepherd boy, went to the school in a tin roof shack. Okay, that's probably still you can find a lot of that. And his father, Obama's grandfather, cook, domestic servant to the British. So that's no problem here. 曾全博，包家豪，郭丽玲，方丹善。Am I pronouncing this one right? Okay. 林子欣 No. 林正豪 Okay. The next paragraph, he mentioned about his father going to Hawaii, America. Beacon of freedom. What does that mean, beacon? What do you mean by beacon of freedom? not just leader, but almost like a tower, right? Light tower that shine. Okay, so beacon of freedom. So what was the most important symbol in American history and even today when people talk about freedom? There has to be a symbol, Statue of Liberty, okay, and opportunity, okay. So Statue of Liberty. So this is the beacon of freedom, and that's where they went to. Okay, so that's his father's side, his mother's side. He said it's very unlikely for someone like him to be speaking to a Democratic convention. So mother's side here, from the other side of the world, Kansas. So here, 陈威志. Where is Kansas? Kansas. Kansas actually used to be a rock group called Kansas, I think. Kansas. Where is Kansas? Kansas is really in the middle of nowhere. Okay, here. This is Kansas, really in the middle of nowhere. Okay, Kansas, just prairie state, we call. Prairie, just growing lots of wheat and wheat and wheat. Okay, that's the state. There's only one big city in the very east coast by the Missouri and Kansas border. We call Kansas City. That's it. So it's an agriculture state, wheat. So in the middle of nowhere. So here, mother's side from a family in the middle of U.S. and father from East Africa. And maternal grandmother worked on the oil rigs and the farm through most of the Depression. Okay, 陈燕如, 林燕宇, 洪思瑶, 游志全. Okay, Depression. When did Depression happen? About what time? Yeah, 2009. Yeah, okay. So we have 2009. But what is depression? Depression today we translate into 经济大恐慌. So about what time? Yeah, the Great Depression. About what time? Like which century? Okay, of course, it should be last century, the 20th century. But what decade? Okay, in the 1930s, right? Starting from 1929, but throughout 1930, never really finished until World War II. Okay, people said the reason, Germany became militarized is because of Depression. The reason why the Depression finally ended because the U.S. entered the war. But anyway, so Depression. But I don't think we call ourselves right now in a economic depression. We call it recession a lot of times. So what's the difference between recession and depression? Okay. Recession, like last year, we have this financial, tsunami. That's what people call, right? Financial tsunami, 金融海啸. So we have a recession. Recession means your neighbor lost his job. Depression means you lost your job. Okay? So you know the difference now? Okay, so next time when you lost your job, you say, yeah, this is depression. Only your neighbor said, oh, someone, you heard of someone losing their job. That's only recession. Okay? So but that's how people, that's how Ronald Reagan okay, distinguished. And then he said, way back in the 1980 campaign against Carter, he said, you know, you will get a good job if Carter is out of job. You know, if you don't vote for the Democratic president at that time, then everything will be better. So, you know, if we are in a depression, you don't have your job, you voted current president out, maybe you have a job. Okay? So that's depression back in the 1930s. That's how the parents, the father worked there. Pearl Harbor, okay, this is an important day, so we're going to try. Li Xingyi. When is Pearl Harbor? It's Ben Affleck. Huh? Pearl Harbor. Is that the movie? Oh, well, Pearl Harbor. Oh, that's 2001. The movie was shot. I don't know. Have ever seen that movie, 珍珠港? When did that happen? About what time? 1941. Okay, December 7, I think, 1941. So that's when America entered World War II, right? World War II broke out in 1939. America entered the war in 1941. So his father signed up for duty. Patton. Patton is a famous general. In Chinese, we call 巴顿将军, right? And much across Europe, and then back home. Okay, the grandmother raised the baby. That's his mother, and went to work on a bomber assembly. Okay, now, 李伯义, 庄子成, 郑立伟, trying to, 李洪志, 李雄豪. Am I getting the right one? 范家展. Okay, now, what is a bomber assembly? Yeah, okay, so usually, you know, when we talk about assembly line, right? 生产线, okay, that's what we have. Assembly line, usually very good jobs, blue-collar workers, highly paid, usually very important work, unionized work. What do you mean by unionized? Union job. What is a union job? Everybody has to be unified, right? That's where you go to the job, they do the exercise in the morning. Is that what we call union job? What is a union job? No. Union job has nothing to do with the exercise. Okay? What is a union job? Means those workers belong to a union. What is a union? A labor union. So you can bargain together for better wages, better working conditions. You join this association of workers we call union. Okay, so what happened? Teachers, professors, they also join an association and negotiate with the university for better working condition or for smarter students. 工会, okay, so assembly line, usually union job, very good pay. Okay, when I was in the U.S. 30 years ago, in the General Motor assembly line, okay, a union job at that time, 30 years ago, is $25 an hour. Okay, when I was a professor in Alaska, during the summertime, we have the road has to be paved again and again because of the pothole, snow, freeze, and then problem. So those jobs, you hold a sign called detour, road works ahead. That job paid $32 an hour. I want to work, during summer for that job, but they said that's a union job. Okay, well, I cannot get one. Just showing a sign, like detour. Detour means 改道. right? Works ahead, road works ahead. So assembly line, usually good job, and women do not have opportunity to work for that. But because of World War II, women were able to enter because most of the men went to the battle here. So that's the reason the mother his grandmother got a pretty good pay job there. Then after the war, GI Bill. GI Bill is talking about, it's a little bit like you serve in the military, the government helped you to pay the education, okay, for the tuition. And then they bought a house through FHA, federal housing, means, kind of low interest rate. So they were able to buy a house and then move all the way to Hawaii, okay. Okay, so his father was searching the dream. His mother was also, the family moved to Hawaii searching a dream. This is always used in American government, American history, when the two parties are talking about the U.S. They always talk about the opportunity. And opportunity become the Republican, we call buzzwords. Okay. Means, okay, in Taiwan, I think the Pen Green, what would be the buzzword for the Pen Green Party? Yang Daifeng. Yeah, what would be a buzzword for a Pen Green Party in Taiwan? Yeah, buzzword. Do you understand buzz? Like the very key word, important word. Independence, or no, I don't think they would say independent. They say sovereignty, right? Sovereignty, right? 主权. Oh, we love that word, right? And the Republican Party in the U.S. say opportunity, okay, which means they do not want a lot of government to interfere. Maybe they will be, both parties will talk about freedom, but they have different idea of freedom. But opportunity is a key Republican word, but also using from the Democrats as well. Okay, common dream, two continents, no problem here. Okay, they talk about, okay, abiding faith. Okay, this is the word that Obama will continue to replace religion. His book, The Audacity of Hope, a chapter called Faith, not a chapter about religion. Okay, faith is a little bit different than religion. So how do we distinguish the two? 林敬琪. Yeah, how do we distinguish religion and faith? 宗教 and 信仰. What's the difference? What's the difference? More general. Okay, maybe broader than religion. But religion almost implies that you have an organization. Like, you go to a certain church, synagogue, or in the case of, the Muslims, they have their own mosque, right? So mosque, cathedral, church, Buddhist temple. Okay, so that's what we call religion. They also have maybe a text, some kind of books you believe, you read. But faith may be more abstract, something you believe, okay? So he talked about the faith, in the faith here, maybe more confidence here about the possibility of the country. African name, Barack. Okay, now, one time he also call himself, a different name. I think it's called Barack, but Barack Obama means blessed, and a tolerant. Okay, now this is the word the Democrat loves to use. Tolerance. So what do we mean by tolerance here? 无尾仆. Lin Bo-yu. Yeah, what do you mean by tolerance? Yeah, well, no, I don't think forgive, but you accept someone even though you don't agree. Right? This is a buzzword for Democrat. Okay? So, for example, Obama, he himself might not be supportive of abortion or gay marriage, but he will be tolerant to gay people or people who have abortion. A few years ago, my wife and I went to University of Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a very liberal university. And my wife and I attended what we call parent orientation for freshmen. Do you have that in Tsinghua? No, for parent to get orientation. Like, okay, you only have student orientation, no parent orientation. 新生, you don't call 训练 now. I mean, who is actually in a drill? Just 新生说明会, okay? How about that? Orientation. So parents also, we sent our son to graduate to college, so we went to the, university, and then my wife had a little bit trouble of seeing, lesbians kissing one another, openly on campus. Okay? So my wife said, does that happen all the time? She raised the question. So then there's this young student helping the orientation say, yes. We consider ourselves a very tolerant campus. Okay. So I almost like, this is the state. My wife, sometimes I say, don't tell other people your husband is teaching political science, American politics, because you know very little about American politics. But anyway, Wisconsin is one of the few places in Madison, the capital, and the campus area. They elected a lesbian U.S. Congresswoman. Okay, she, it's like an open lesbian, not a closet one. Okay, an open lesbian is elected from that part. So very tolerant. Okay, so Democratic Party will use the word tolerant. Okay, so this is the word they use about America, which is very tolerant. So name is no barrier to success. That's not always true. Okay. In America, a lot of people, the government said, you can have a funny name like Barack Obama or Qian Xian Yan. That's a very funny name, right? But you can still do it. But in the election, a lot of times you find people got elected not because they are very famous or they are doing good job, but their name is Michael Smith. Okay, instead of someone like Kaczynski, that's a Polish name, right? Or someone getting elected like Ying Su Ha, Korean name. So this sometimes people have this idea. They feel Bob Jones. That's my neighbor. Okay, some kind of Middle Eastern name, Muhammad. Ooh, Muhammad. They worry about that, right? So I think Obama, in his book, he said, in the very beginning, he said what? He said, someone right after September 11 said, I'm sorry. Your political future ended today because Osama bin Laden, right, of Al-Qaeda just attacked the United States. And your name just rhymed with Obama. Huh? So that's a pity. But he felt at that time, this is 2004, that there was no barrier to success. Okay, the best school, okay, you can reach your potential. Okay, next one, 陈薇如。 马如荣，何马龙，何马龙在吗 ？Yeah, okay. Here he talk about diversity of my heritage, and at the end here, they also use this word, a Latin word here, a pluribus unum. Okay, this you can find in all the American quarter. You know, money, they will have this a pluribus unum, out of many, one. And diversity, that's a good word. And also, again, it's a very important word, okay, for the United States to have this word we call diversity here. What do you mean by diversity? Like, I'm someone supporting diversity as well. In National 政治 University, I proposed one time, way back, 10 years ago, about diversifying the student body of our university. He said, wait a second, what's the problem with NCCU student body? I felt at that time, no offense, maybe you have someone from the same high school. I felt that 政治 University is almost like 中山女中的大学部. Okay, so I tried to limit the number of 中山女中 students. You know, I said, you know, this is not, you should not have your college classmate going to the same high school, the same middle school, the same elementary school, and the same kindergarten. Okay, I want diversity. I want people to, have different background. So I proposed something. I said, 5% of NCCU students should come from parents with less than junior high education. Okay, 5% should come from low-income family. 5% should come from remote areas. Okay, so finally we have this STARS program right now. That's good. You started. Your university is the pathfinder. You did start the 繁星计划. So that's good. I think you need to interact with students of different background so you will know what happened. Otherwise, when I was in college, we have some students, we went to a classmate's hometown, and then one Taipei grown Taipei girl, she suddenly realized that watermelon didn't grow on a tree. Okay? Because she has never seen watermelon before. So when you have classmates, you went to different house, right? It will be better. So diversity is very important. Diversity of heritage, and heritage means father from where? From Kenya, from Africa. Mother from where? From Kansas. Now, in Taiwan, we have a big problem. When we think of people of mixed marriage, their kids, we call mixed blood. Actually, that's a better word. We call mixed blood, right? 混血. There is an even worse description. I don't want to mention that, right? But I can write it. I don't want to write it in Chinese. I write it in Pinyin. I think it's this, something. Is it ZH or ZA? Is it 知 or 知? Huh? Which one? This one? The right one? Okay, so I got it right. So ZZ, okay? So that's what we call the person, right? ZZ. Huh? But in the United States, a lot of people have some blood from different. So in their elementary school, I remember my son went to the elementary school and came back home one day and said, Dad, are we just 100% Chinese, nothing else? I said, yes. What's wrong? He said, that's not fair. You know, my classmate has 1/8 of German, 1/4 of Indian. You know, we have nothing else. Okay, I said, okay, I'll do some research, okay, to find out whether we have anything else. Okay, so finally we found out my wife's great-grandfather is a British. Okay, my wife's last name is Xia, summer. Okay, my Shay. Okay, that's he is a priest from, you know, Great Britain. So that's the name. They assume Xia. Okay, because I do find my father-in-law had blue eyes. Then we found out later. So my son has, I think, 1/16 of British. So that made him happy. Okay, like finally you have something. Okay, but that's diversity, which it's considered to be positive. You just have different heritage, and so Obama has, at least half African, half, North American, and then he's trying to live his parents' dream, and also talk about my two precious daughters, Malia and Sasha. So he said he knows that this is part of the large story of America, and it was not possible if there was someone before him, so he was able to stand before the audience as only a state senator speaking to the National Convention here. Okay. Next paragraph, we have few interesting ideas here. Liu Qianya, Wang Huirу, Zheng Jiezhi. Okay, Ms. Zheng. This is a little bit BS, but it's good. Okay. He said America was great because it's not the power of the military or the economy or the height of our skyscrapers. So we can also say, in Taiwan, we are such a great country, not because of the 101, right? Not because of what? What else? Not because of the corruption of our military, not because of the recession of our economy, but one thing, he said, it's about this declaration. So what was that declaration? We hold this to be true, self-evidence, all men are created equal. What are this? From where? Which document? Which declaration? Declaration, the most famous ones. There is only one, very famous one. Back in the 18th century, Thomas Jefferson was the one who drafted this. Declaration of Dependence. Yeah. Okay, that's good. You would do that. Okay, next time when you get married, you say, I declare my dependence on my husband. I don't have to do anything now. That's, my goal is just to get married. Do we have that kind of person and depend, independence? Okay, so no problem, independence. But I think today we should say Declaration of Interdependence. Right? We are all interdependent. Okay. You're going to help your husband going to help you, your wife will help you, so interdependent. But independent, okay, maybe, that's so here we have a self-evident. What do we mean by self-evident? What is self-evident? Clear? Okay. Like do we have to say today, evident, it's a sunny day, it's self-evident, yeah, you see the sun, it's a sun. So that's very clear, created equal, endowed by the Creator. Okay, now, what do we mean by inalienable rights? Inalienable. Yeah, what's the word inalienable? No, I-N-A-L-I-E-N-A-B-L-E. No, not alien. Okay, has nothing to do with alien, but or you can say that. Yeah. Well, alien means something different from you, right? Inalienable means something is here, cannot become an alien. So what is it? Something that cannot be deprived, something you cannot take away. Your rights. Okay, so what are the rights? Should we blow up this a little bit? Maybe. I don't know whether you can see that. If we blow up this a little bit, where is the blow up stuff here? What do you think? 40? Okay. So this inalienable rights, where is it? Okay. Among those are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I think we all know that now. Our life cannot be deprived. Our liberty cannot be deprived, so we should let our former president go. We should let him continue to pursue his happiness, right? So those are the inalienable rights, okay? Very simple dreams, okay? Small miracles, okay. I think that this is easy. How many people are still being tugged in the evening? Huang Boyu. You still living at home? No? In the dorm? Okay, so now at home, when you go back to, go to sleep, did your mom still tuck you in? Do you understand what I mean by tuck in? Like making sure your arms is not outside the blanket. Do they do that still? Do your parents do that? Making sure you're covered. So bed and clothes safe from harm. Well, this is the same in Taiwan. We can say what we think, write what we think without hearing a sudden knock on the door. I don't know about the previous generation, but at least, my generation, I never worry about that. And we have an idea and start our own business without paying a bribe. In Taiwan, yes or no? 何一静在吗？刘应成 Yeah. Do we have to pay a bribe to start a business? Do we have to pay a bribe to start a business in Taiwan? Do you understand bribe? Bribery, paying money to a government official? Do we have to do that in Taiwan? If you want to start a business, of course, no, right? But it's going to take longer, right? So when you pay bribe, you just make it a little bit faster, a little bit easier. That's it. But if everything is legal, I think you can start a business without paying a bribe. But if you want to, we call expedite the process, make the process a little bit faster, maybe a little bit money will help, right? Okay. But we always pay the bribe. Like we pay the bribe for a what? For a fast track passport. You know, you get a passport for certain money, but if you want it in 2 days, you can pay more. Don't you think that's bribery? No? Okay. But that's, this is something Obama will go back to Africa and tell the African people, say, hey, no one will come to do a business if they know they have to pay bribe. And corruption in Kenya, his father's hometown, very bad. So bribe, you understand bribery. If you want to learn the art of bribery, you have to read some of the old Chinese, stories. Okay, my father passed me a very good story about bribery. The guy came to talk to you about your project, why it cannot be approved, right? So he sat down with you, and then he put his coat there, and talk, and then later he went back to his coat to get a cigarette. He's also checking whether you have put money in there or not. Okay, if not, he continue to smoke and come back and forth and just keep sitting there and will not, approve the project until he felt, kind of heavy now. Okay, pass. Okay, you cannot see anything. So bribery a lot, right? There are, Qing Dynasty's desk like this. The drawer will open from here, but also you can open from here. You put money in there, and I can see, Okay. So bribery, it's an art. I think, we need to make it good, okay? So sometimes if you do bribery, you need to make sure you bribe the person, that the person really want to be bribed. Okay? Some people are kind of, I won't say chicken, but they don't dare to take bribe. Okay? So if you bribe them, they will say, oh, so-and-so tried to bribe me. Right? That's even worse. So one time my father had a profession. My father is a legal consultant for an overseas Thai company, before Thailand company. Overseas Chinese, they lost track of how the Chinese operate. So he gave advice to this company when this company went to China. So my father sat there in a meeting and then look at the body language. My father would say, you can bribe this one. Okay, but not too much. Okay, just a little bit, and this one has big appetite. Okay, so you can see, the body language. So that's an art. So when I first came back here in Taiwan, my father said, oh, you're applying a job at NCCU. Do you think I should make pull some strings, call someone? I said, don't do anything, because in academic world, if you receive a phone call, it means you're dead. Okay? If I receive a phone call on behalf of so-and-so, I would never support that candidate. Okay, that's academic. Academic is very strange. Okay, someone tried to change, put someone's candidate there, fail. Okay, so we can participate in the political process without retribution. What do you mean by retribution? Pan Yiming. Yeah, what is retribution? Retribution, how many of you today, if you decide to go to join, I don't know, when is our next demonstration against our government? I think it's in Tainan somewhere. Okay, so if you go to a anti-government demonstration or anti-university, okay, here you're not happy with Tsinghua University blocking, the road all the time because of the construction. you protest, and you ask, the president of the university should step down. And do you worry about retribution? What do you mean by retribution? Some kind of revenge against you, right? Some kind of revenge saying, oh, this student is creating problem. Why don't we just ask some professor to purposely flunk this student so he will not be in trouble here, So that's retribution. Vote will be counted at least most of the time. Now, do we all believe our vote counted? Yes or no? Mr. Pan, what do you think of your vote? Have you ever voted? Not yet. Okay, so you're going to have an opportunity to vote this time, don't you think? In Hsinchu? No, you're not from Hsinchu. You're from where? Taipei. Okay, Taipei. So we have the election next year. So when you go to vote, is your vote counted? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Now, why would a vote not counted? Well, even if you voted, saying, it's an invalid ballot, that is still being counted as an invalid ballot, 废票. But that's still being counted. But when is a vote not counted? Some countries vote disappear. Okay, opposition candidates receive votes, and they found out votes disappear. Sometimes they found out votes not disappear, but being, we call, watered down. Like you go to vote, and already inside the box, they were already, ballots supporting another candidate before even the election started. Okay, they were, we call box stuffing, stuffing the box. 我们叫什么？不是 stuffing is almost like 饺子的心，包饺子。Stuffing 就是塞投票箱，先塞票。Okay, that's what we call stuffing the box. So sometimes it's not count. So why Obama would say, at least most of the time, what happened in America? Why would he say that? 黄达中、王仁和、谢君达。Okay, 是念云还是云谢云达 Okay, why would Obama? I mean, here you have the first democracy in the world. They voted so many times, and Obama said at least most of the time, which means sometimes or once in a while, your vote didn't count. What happened? No, I don't think it's war. I mean, America has never been attacked. Okay, yeah, September 11 was an attack, but there was no vote. Okay. How yes? Okay, Bush versus Gore in 2000 presidential election in Florida. Okay, so there were some votes, kind of suspect, yeah?
It also happened to Obama and Clinton. That Clinton votes for Florida didn't count.
Okay, but that's because, the Democratic primary already, it's illegal for Michigan to move so ahead. So you should stop campaigning at that time. But that one, okay, no problem. But in 2000 presidential election, yes. But also in Obama's own hometown called Chicago. Chicago had a big, we call Democratic machine. Sometimes you find deaf people also voting. I don't know about in Taiwan. Do we have deaf people voting? Yeah. Yeah? We do? Ooh, okay. That's why, I think most of the time it counted, but not counted as one vote, right? If there are more invalid ballot, then your vote is not 100%. Okay, so you understand now. So Obama, at least in 2000, is referring to this case. And 2004, this election, presidential election, again, something happened in Ohio. Okay, there was some problem of counting the votes. And my institute in 2000, American election is on Tuesday evening. So by Wednesday morning, we will know the result. Like about noontime, we should know the result. So we will have a, American presidential election, result and analysis on Wednesday morning in Taiwan about 10 o'clock. And 2000, the election was still going. So, like we have all the press, the media coming, trying to get an expert's idea about what happened. Found out, well, the election didn't finish because there was some controversy in Florida, so we didn't have it. And then in 2004, the same thing in Ohio, because Ohio will determine who is going to win the election. So we didn't have that. So this time, 2008, we had another, this kind of conference. And then the media asked me, saying, Professor Yan, do you think this time we will have the result by Wednesday morning? Instead of having a deadlock or problem, I say yes. So it did happen, okay? But this is 2004. So twice, okay, there were some voting problems here. Okay, let's take a break and we will try to finish most of this. And you will have an idea of some of the democratic processes in the U.S. And that document also started the American Revolution, or actually American Revolution started a year early, but that almost like confirmed because of the Declaration of Independence and later in American Constitution. Remember, liberty, very important. Liberty means freedom. So in American Constitution, which was passed in 1789, and then especially, we call the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments of the Constitution talk about freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly. Has something to do with the Declaration of Independence as well. That idea that you have certain inalienable rights, including like, later we will learn, okay? You cannot be searched without a warrant, okay? So for example, if you're driving a car, if the police stop you today, they can look to see whether you have drink, alcohol. We call, what do we call? DW, not DYI, DWI. What is DWI? Driving while intoxicated. Okay, that means you're drinking, intoxicated. So DWI. But the police can only check to see whether you have liquor, in the car. But they cannot ask you to open the trunk because that's your privacy. For example, some people might have this particular habit of wearing the other gender's clothes, right? So he put it in his trunk, and here the police found out, no, that's my private life. Okay, you can only see something, okay, in the car, we call plain view. Okay, 2 words, okay, plain view. Means only those, they cannot search. Okay, that's a very important right. Right to privacy. Very important document. Remember that one, okay? Okay, let's continue. 萧富腾. Yeah, here, in this 2004, that's the election year, talk about reaffirm the value and commitment, hold them against a hard reality and see how are we measuring up to the legacy of the forebearers. So what is, first of all, what is forebearer? Like Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, George Washington. These are the forebearers. Lincoln. Or in Taiwan's case, we would say something about Sun Yat-sen or anyone who passed away long time ago. Excuse me. Hello? Hey. 他不能做了，我已经找过他了，对，我也找过他了啊。OK， 好呗。I'm still looking for the TA. I'm sorry. That's very important for my next class. Okay. I don't know why the TA called me during the class here. She should know I'm teaching. But anyway, okay. So again, all those people who came before us, forebearers. 祖先 okay, 先贤 the promise of future generations. So, like every period of time, you have to reaffirm your value. What is your value? Value of freedom, value of liberty, all those. Commitment. What do you mean by commitment? Ms. Chow, what is commitment? What happens if, you're dating a girl, the girl says, are you committed? What does that mean? Are you serious? Are you going to marry me? Oh, you're going to be responsible. 你要负责. Okay, so that's a commitment, 承诺, right? So commitment means you pledge to do something. So this generation also has to do something as well to hold the value and continue to hold them, even though you have hard reality here. Good example, 2004. America hold the value of liberty, saying everything has to go through a process. We call due process, 程序. Now, but what happened if you arrested someone who has been suspected to be a terrorist? Do we have to go through all the the process, saying, oh, this person has the same right, or should we say, this is an emergency, why do we have to go through the process? Why do we just, put him in custody and never bring him to trial? Because put him in the jail somewhere in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, and then, give him some torture. Oh, torture will tell the truth. See, T and T. Truth came out of torture. No. Okay. No, you don't torture people, right? Even during this time. Okay, 2004, I was in the U.S. at this time. I did a research on the America called Patriot Act, 爱国法. Patriot Act means, the government, in order to find out who are the terrorists, can, without your permission, find out what kind of books do you check out from the library. Making a bomb, terrorist attack, injustice, attack on America. People who read those books must be a terrorist, right? So that's how they try to find out. Or the website you visited, okay, find out Mr. Xiao during his leisure time always click on how to build a bomb. Okay, you must be a terrorist. Okay, now, but don't you think whatever website I visited should be my privacy? Okay, but the government said, no, this is an emergent time. So, we need to find out who are the terrorists. So they violate all that. Okay, one of the example will be someone who happened to be Pakistani background, but lived in the U.S. for 20-some years, or already acquired American citizenship, but CIA, not CIA, FBI will come and talk to you, and then the company said, oh, we have a potential terrorist here. And then they fired the person. Okay, so we, at the time, tried to recommend the American government that if you want to have a talk, right, please don't visit the workplace, because the workplace people will get nervous, right? Or if you happen to be, we talk about DWI, driving while intoxicated, right? So sometimes, in the past, people talk about DWB. Like if you happen to be an African American like Obama, you drive a very expensive car. Then people will say, you must be a drug dealer. Right? How can you afford this car? So driving while black. Okay? Police will stop you. And now, after 2001, we have another one called FWA, flying while Arab. If you are, young Arab people flying first class, terrorist, right? So we have American passenger got so terrified by having an Arab sitting in the first class, on the plane, and asked the pilot to remove him, because that brown people make me nervous. Okay, so that's where we talk about the time, saying, that's why Obama said, how, no matter against a hard reality, right, are you still committed to freedom? Are you still committed to liberty? Okay. So here, Zhang Heyu, Qiu Jiayu. Yeah, who are the independents? We have Democrats, we have Republicans, and then we have people who support Taiwan's independence, right? No, that's the Americans. They have Democrats, they have Republicans, and they have people who support Taiwan independence. No, who are the independents? Independence in Taiwan we call, the middle voters. People who are not affiliated with either side. Okay? People who are not registered as a party member, we call independent. So in America, usually it's about 1/3 of each, depending on time. When Republicans were very popular one time, during the 80s, plurality. Okay, more Republican than Democrats. I think right now we have more Democrats. But sometimes when people are so, we call disillusioned, lost all the hope of the two parties, they became independent. like what happened, I think, in Taiwan right now, right? Most people say, you know, I remember in the 1990s, you know, we professors making a survey in the classroom. Very few students wanted to identify themselves as being a KMT member. You know, it's such an embarrassment. Like, where are you coming from? Are you from Mars? You know, like KMT, this corruption party, you know, this old party, this dinosaur. You belong to that dinosaur? Okay, that's back in the 1990s, right? And then 2 years ago, after the DPP, all the corruption, like, ooh, no. No, I asked the student, most of the students said, no, we don't belong to any political party, right? So every student now is, you know, some went back to the KMT, but now, ooh, no, I'm independent, right? So we are all independent now, right? Because the two parties are so embarrassing. So, but in the U.S., independent are the ones who the two parties trying to win them over. Okay, more work to do. Okay, he talked about his experience of Galesburg in Illinois. People who work there, union jobs. Remember, union job, always good pay. How good? Okay, well, I was a university professor in the U.S. My job, my university paid for my health insurance, which is nice, but I have to pay for my wife and my two boys' health insurance. And the university said, since you're part of our big family, I'll give you 25% discount. But that's still a lot. My wife is an elementary school teacher. Her insurance covers her and the whole family because she belonged to a union. I love the union. Okay. So union job, good protection, and always, you know, good benefits and better pay. So this guy who worked there have a union job, but he lost the union job, right? Maytag. How many of you know Maytag? Maytag is a tag you put it on in the month of May. Maytag is a very famous washer dryer, you know, appliance, electric appliances. 中文讲什么？电器。家电 electric appliances, okay? Producing electric appliances. But the commercial, I always remember, you have two workers who work for Maytag as maintenance worker, maintaining, you know, if you know, repairmen. They said they fell asleep, like it was so boring because nobody called them because the machine never break down. Okay, that's the commercial. Okay, of Maytag. So, but hey, union job pay a lot. How do you cut the cost? Moving the factory to Mexico. Sounds familiar in Taiwan? You know, you work for the factory in Taiwan. Then, you know, during the weekend you visit your relatives, and then next morning you went to the factory. Gone. You know, it's locked. The factory already moved to China. This happened as well. Why? Saving the cost of the labor. Right? So they moved to Mexico, and so he lost his job. Right? And now, if you want to find a new job, you have to compete with your children for jobs only pay $7 an hour. Okay, I mentioned union job, maybe $30 an hour. Okay, how are you going to go back to compete? And also, you know, he talked about he met another one who lost his job and then trying to hold back his tears because he didn't know how to pay $4,500 a month for the drug the son needs without the health benefit. Okay, now. 艾尔强. Okay, now, healthcare. In Taiwan, have you heard anyone say we should abolish our national healthcare? Do you know we have one?
Yeah, I have.
Even you have one. Okay. Now, even you have one. But so it's almost a consensus. We all love our health care here, right? Only few people, like the doctors, I think they don't like. Okay. But in the United States, health care is private. So most of the time, the company provides you with health care. I remember first time I got my job offer. They said, oh, this is what you earn. I said, wow, this much? No, that's adding all the benefits. All the health insurance, the Social Security, the unemployment compensation. So they, like in order to hire you, if maybe I pay you $30, but I pay additional $20 to cover your health care, every other thing. So hiring someone full-time, very expensive because of the health care. Okay? Health care in America is so expensive. Okay? You can pay only the deductible if you have one. We call deductible, 中文叫自付款，是不是？叫给付的，自付，中文叫什么？自己付的一部分。Like right now, you visit the doctor in the hospital, 自付款. Okay, we call deductible. Okay, so let's say you have to pay 20%. But a single visit, if you have a flu, you visit a doctor, $70 to $100 per visit with insurance, right? And with insurance, you say, oh, okay, I only have to pay 20%. So that's $20. That's with insurance. More expensive than here without insurance in Taiwan. Okay, that's one. And then even if you have insurance, sometimes they say, we have $1,000 deductible. Means if you spend more than $1,000, then we begin to cover. It's like, oh, okay, I need to work very hard to get sick so I can, at least accumulate, finally out of my pocket, I pay $1,010. Finally, the insurance company say, yeah, we will cover that $10. After 1 year, you accumulate $1,000 of medical bill. That's crazy. So that's health care. Okay, but still, this guy might need it, right? His son needs a health benefit. And the benefit is so important to be insured. Okay, I'm not sure how many of us today in Taiwan worry a lot. I'm not insured. It's like I don't have my clothes on. In America, it's almost like if you're not insured, like you're missing something. I think the feeling is almost for you guys is like if you go to visit your grandparents during the summer without bringing your laptop. Okay? I think that's the same kind of feeling. Okay, when you don't have insurance. Okay, you just don't feel comfortable at all. You don't know what to do. Okay? So here, that's why Obama in 2004 mentioned about health insurance, health care, and now he's talking about health insurance as well. Okay, and one more he said about the East, the girl in the Eastern St. Louis, that's also in Illinois, his state, right? She has the drive. So what do you mean by the drive here? Wang Boquan, Lin Genyi. Yeah, what do you mean by the drive? She has a car? What do you mean by the drive? Do you have the drive? Do you have the drive to, become a potential employee for the UMC, for the TSMC or something, What is the drive? Like the 驱动力. What is the Chinese word? The drive. 驱动. 动力. Okay, but motivation. Okay, almost like that. So she has the motivation. She has good grades. Has the will. right? Will has the will. Also 有一个遗嘱，不是 What do you mean by will? Determination, right? She has the determination, motivation, and good grades, but cannot go to college because she doesn't have money. Okay, American education is also very expensive. So here, Obama is talking about the real people he met and the real problem. This will appear in American political speech a lot. They always like to use real people. And our politicians, I don't know why, they cannot figure out, give you real stories about why they are running for presidency, why they are, what kind of problem do they see. They can only talk about abstract. They cannot name people. Okay, so this is important to name people. So here, Obama said, he said, the people I met in small town and big city, in diners and office parks. Diners, all those, small restaurants. They don't expect government to solve all their problems. They know they have to work hard to get ahead, and they want to. Okay, so this is important. Again, the idea of government. Obama is always trying to bring a little bit of the Republican idea as well. He believes in government can do something, but still individual has to do others. Okay. The Republican politician on the other side, on the other hand, will say, never trust the government. Right? People look up to the government for the solution of their problems. The government is the problem. Okay? So in Taiwan, the same thing. Never trust the university bureaucracy can solve your problem. They are the problem. Okay? Never trust, the government to give you answer. So Obama said, they want to work hard. But if you go to the collar counties, blue collar county, white collar, around Chicago, people would tell you they don't want their tax money wasted by a welfare agency or by the Pentagon. Okay, so now, welfare agency. What is a welfare agency? Wang Sun. What is a welfare agency? Social welfare agency. Can you give me an example? Okay, let's talk about maybe, those social workers who help the low-income family, right? So that's a welfare agency. And, in America, sometimes they say, well, even if you're low income, you can still get government to help you to rent an apartment. So government subsidize, 津贴, some of your rent. But because you're low income, if a single mother, 2 kids, you need a 3-bedroom apartment. If the 2 kids are 1 boy, 1 girl, right? One, teenage girl, teenage boy cannot live in 1 room. So mother 1 room, 1 girl 1 room, 1 boy 1 room. For the Republican, they will think you waste money on that. So they don't want your money to be wasted by a welfare agency. That's the Republican attack. The Democratic attack will be, don't waste our money on all those expensive toys by Pentagon. What is Pentagon? 五角玩具，五角大厦. What does that mean? What is 五角大厦? National Defense. Okay, Department. Okay, what do we call it? Department of Defense. Okay, DOD. So the Democrats said, we don't want you to buy those weapons. The Republicans said, we don't want you to waste money on welfare. But no matter what, people just do not want the government waste money. Okay, period. Okay? So you can see that. And then Going in the neighborhood, they said, the government alone cannot teach our kids to learn. Parents have to teach. Okay, so no problem. Children can achieve unless we raise their expectation and turn off the television sets. I think we just confiscate your laptop. Then, you can study, right? And eradicate. Okay, 核心加. What do you mean by eradicate? The slander that say black youth with a book is acting white. Okay, eradicate. A lot of time we use that word for poverty. We call poverty eradication. 消灭. What? Poverty. What is poverty? Poverty, P-O-V-E-R-T-Y, you know that word, right? Okay, so, the condition of being poor. So, eradicate that. A lot of time we use that word. But here, eradicate the slander means, people who attack, give the wrong impression that black with a book is acting white. Okay, like, oh, black, either you do what? Sports or music or drugs. If you carry a book, come on, be real. I mean, that's not real. Real black don't do that, right? Carrying a book is acting white. So it's almost like if a black enter a mass club that's acting Asian, or an Asian go to a basketball camp that's acting black, or something like that. So, what do we call that? We call stereotype. Okay, stereotype. We assume a lot of things. Okay, you don't have that kind of feeling here. The Asians in America, some of them got really frustrated because they are not interested in math and science. But the teacher will think, you're Asian. You must be good with math and science. Okay? So that's a big problem, right? When you have that stereotype. Okay? So black can read books. That's not acting white. Okay, so he said they know all those, but they don't expect government to solve all their problem, but that they want to know here. Okay, if deep in their bone, if just change a priority here. 黄伟志, yeah. What do you mean by change of priority? Then every children have a shot for a decent life. Has a decent shot at life. What do you mean by change of priority? Priority, do you understand priority? No? Okay, what is your priority? Your parents said, well, your priority is just to study hard. They said, no, I study hard enough. I'm in university. My priority is student club. My priority is dating. No, it's not dating. It's a relationship. Okay, I think that's better. Okay. So government priority, 先后优先次序, right? So here he said, if we don't spend all those money on defense, maybe don't you think we should have more money for hungry children's? Like, yeah, I have a decent shot at life. I'm always hungry. Now, how can I study if I'm always hungry? Okay, so, and the doors of opportunity remain open to all, not those who have, are in poverty. So they want government to do better, and they want the choice here. So here he talked about the Democratic Party. Okay, I think we know this, John Kerry, a little bit about him. Very important things about a American presidential candidate throughout history, but not anymore, okay, is heroic service to Vietnam. Okay, Pan Yi-an. Yeah, what is, this Vietnam thing here? Heroic service to Vietnam. What does that mean about John Kerry? He operates some kind of travel agency to go to Vietnam. What does that mean? Heroic service to Vietnam. Okay, first of all, I know you were, born right out, many years after this, we call Vietnam War. Have you heard of Vietnam War? Okay, so Vietnam War was the last big American war. Right now we have the Persian Gulf War, we have the Iraqi War, but, in American history, most politicians need to have the resume, put it there, also being a veteran. It's good. Americans love heroes. So if you've been to the military, it's always a plus. Only in the last few times we have like President Bush, President Clinton. Those two didn't go to Vietnam War because their family tried to get them out of war by, being a Coast Guard, or being a National Guard, Kuomintang, or some people go to graduate school, so you don't have to go to Vietnam War. Back in 1988, the old Bush, there are two Bush presidents. The old Bush has a young vice presidential candidate by the name of Dan Quayle, very young. So people said, how come you didn't go to Vietnam War? He said, gosh, I didn't know I would be standing here now. If I knew it, I would. Okay, so important. Okay, John Kerry, funny, yeah? Democratic Party presidential candidate went to Vietnam War. Republican Party always for strong defense. President Bush in 2004 didn't go to military service. Okay, so they tried to twist his heroic records, but then he also has his year as prosecutors. Ms. Pan, what is prosecutor? Prosecutor, very important job right now in Taiwan, right? Someone who indict you, list all the crimes you committed, and then submit it to the court. That's what we call prosecutor. So, 检察官, prosecution. But sometimes, I think, our former president has been prosecuted, but he said he has been persecuted. So what's the difference between prosecute and persecute? What is persecute? Prosecute and persecute. What's the difference? Prosecute, persecute. You said, well, both are pretty cute, huh? So what's the difference? Cute per se, no? Persecute, prosecute. Okay, President Chen right now claimed political persecution by the KMT. 政治迫害. Okay, so 起诉 can be a 迫害, and then after 起诉 can be execution. But I don't think we have that. Okay, execute. Okay. So here, believe we have the John Kerry's background, and you know he served as a prosecutor because he got a law degree, and then lieutenant governor. What do you mean by lieutenant governor? Ms. Pan, what is a lieutenant governor? Governor who once served in the military as a lieutenant. 是这样吗? Lieutenant governor. It's we call deputy or vice governor. I don't think we use vice. We use vice minister. We use deputy sheriff. What is it? Lieutenant governor. Not the governor, but lieutenant governor. 副州长. Okay. Deputy mayor. 副市长. Okay. I don't know, why don't we call it lieutenant mayor? Governor, lieutenant. Okay. Mayor, deputy. Okay. Just, and then also sometimes people will use vice, minister. I don't know, why don't they use lieutenant minister? But they use vice minister. Okay, so you understand. So 2 decades in the U.S. Senate. He was elected in 1984. So 2 decades. And that's John Kerry. Again, make tough choice when easier ones were available. This is always politicians talk, saying, good politicians make tough choices. They always say that. Okay, I want you to finish this one, and I also want you to read a little bit of this one I was trying to send you. This was back in 1984. At the time, also keynote speech in the Democratic Convention Center. This is where Mario Cuomo of the New York City, a mayor, he talked about the difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. Okay, and I think this is a good part to understand the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. So I'll just read the first part here. He said, it's an old story, as old as our history. The difference between the Democrats and Republicans always being measured in courage, okay, and confidence. The Republicans believe that the wagon train will not make it to the frontier unless some of the old, some of the young, some of the weak are left behind. Only the strong, they tell us, will inherit the land. So it means, okay, you're disabled, you're, this, no, you become burden to us. But he said, the Democrats, okay, believe in something else. Believe that we can make all the way with the whole family, together. Chinese will be 中文什么？就是老弱妇孺一起走。Okay, and we have more than once. Okay, so he talk about the history, of taking care of the disabled, disadvantaged groups. Okay, that's always they try to make the distinction. So you will know the party. Next week we will talk about the difference of the two parties. Okay, and if you have the book of Obama, there is a chapter on the two parties. Okay, Republican and Democrats. Okay, see you next week.